All right. Hello, hello, and welcome back. So, we are back on Chaos Child, another solo stream tonight. We just finished up Hana's route, and I think, if I remember correctly, we've got Uki's route coming up. I meant to pull up the walkthrough and spaced it. So, give me just a second to do that to confirm that's who we're doing next. Yes. So we'll learn more about Uki, which is going to be really exciting because we know pretty much nothing about her. So we'll start that tonight. As a reminder, this is going to be a shorter stream night. These solar streams are a little bit harder for me to stay awake during because I'm a little bit sleep deprived with working doubles and extra hours at the moment. And not having anyone having to talk to me apparently makes me want to sleep. So let's kind of recap on what happened at the end of last stream. So we read the map wrong in Hana's route and got chased by a dragon because of it. Shibuya's evacuation meant that there were no witnesses to facilitate Kazuki's powers, so the dragon ate us. Yeah, that was a very short ending because I didn't realize quite how close we were to the end of it. For the good end, we tried to save Nono and hurt Wakui, but barely anywhere is safe to travel. The Ikario had refugees that Kazuki tried to use her powers on to make a sumo sticker, but it failed. We found Wakui, who has Nono sitting down in trauma. The committee instructed him to take Kazuki alive, but she chucked her D-sword at him and bit her own tongue. He decapitated Nono, then her headless body put it back on, only to lose it again. Kazuki's power summoned a giant with a sumo sticker face, and it nullified Wakui's powers. It tripped and broke some buildings, but caught us as Wakui flew away on a Quetzalcoatlus. It tossed a makeshift bayonet to kill Wakui, then poofed away, and now we are on the run from society, so that's how that good end ended. So now we have two good ends that really weren't good. So let's get on to Uki's route. So as a reminder, we do have to get through the opening stuff here and actually get on the route. And this one is, in order to get onto it, is a little bit more complicated. So we are going to choose negative delusions in which death appears, as well as positive delusions in which Uki appears. So I will agree with you. The good end was actually better than its bad end counterpart, mostly because the bad end counterpart, we just died. Arimura just wasn't destined to be happy, apparently. Which is very sad, but... Okay. I forget how long this part takes, so... Okay, Chapter 1, Anti-Digital Native. And we've actually got quite a few triggers here, so... Looking at our stupid little magazine. The ghetto froggy strap that makes me cry every time I hear it now. We're just gonna keep going through this one. Do. All right, let's get comfy. Yeah. Sorry, Seneca, we were too busy to solve murders. Okay, so I think this is the first one, so it doesn't matter, and we are going to choose a negative delusion here, which if I... Oh, nope, let's not do that. Damn it. I hit the wrong button. Can I go back? I can't go back. I apologize. I forgot it. R1 is skip, R2 is negative, and I hit R1 instead. All right, let's try this again. At least I did it right there at the first one and not... I mean, look, Serika just wants us to, you know, feel like a hero, which I guess we did kind of feel like a hero when we were facing down a dinosaur until we got eaten by it. So technically that one still worked as well. We just, didn't live through it. So this one's called the butterfly route, which I'm very curious about. Then again, I didn't get why the last one was called pandemic call route, so... Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, maybe butterfly effect. That's a possibility. I was also thinking, like the whole butterfly, caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly, like, evolution kind of thing. I'm really interested in finding out, like, how Uki's powers actually end up manifesting. Because we didn't really get a lot of it in the main route, so... Okay, let's try this again. Alright, negative is R. Yeah, metamorphosis, there we go. Okay, it doesn't matter. This was class 3-1, Ito and my class. Most of the class was busy with the Ghetto Froggy Cafe we were doing for the festival. Some people were ignoring the fuss and studying. Some of the otaku were reading light novels. Did they really think that if they left the paper cover from the bookstore on it, we couldn't tell that it was a light novel? They were just trying their best to stay out of the way. It's been a while since we've been back in Chapter 1 Takadu. I forgot how much of an asshole he is. Most people were happily making Ghetto Froggy decorations or putting on Ghetto Froggy costumes and messing around. All the clubs had to participate in the festival, but so did all the classes. No one had told me, but evidently several months ago we decided to do a Ghetto Froggy themed cafe. You dummy! Ghetto Froggy has a girl's voice! Well, sure, but it's just a culture festival. We're allowed to change it. That's wrong. Huh? Ito tilted his head in confusion. Alright, let's find out what this negative trigger is gonna be. That's right, Ghetto Ghetto. We don't talk that way, Ghetto. Don't mess with us, Ghetto. Suddenly, all the Ghetto Froggies in the classroom stood up on their own. There were easily more than 30 of them. It took me a second to process what I was seeing, but who could blame me? Who wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of Ghetto Froggy dolls started walking around of their own free will? The next thing we knew, we were surrounded. We were like frogs in the clutches of a hungry snake. Or maybe humans in the clutches of angry frogs? What's going on? The stuffed animals are talking! Wow, that's creepy. Hilarious! We won't let anyone make fun of us, Ghetto. Let's teach him the lesson, Ghetto. Let the bloody nightmare begin, Ghetto. Their eyes weren't smiling. This felt really bad. What? You stupid little frogs think you can pick a fight with us? One of my classmates carelessly approached the green Ghetto Froggy. No, don't! It was too late. The green Ghetto Froggy launched itself like a missile at his mouth, and then forced its way down his throat. Oh shit, okay. Then it ripped its way out of his stomach from the inside. Okay, Takuru's been watching too much Alien, apparently. No! My stomach! My stomach! Something long, pink, and glistening slid out from the gaping hole in his stomach. That's when the screaming began. No one escaped the classroom alive. The Ghetto Froggies showed no mercy. They indiscriminately slaughtered both boys and girls. And I was the least lucky of them all. I was the last survivor. If only they'd killed me sooner, I wouldn't have had to piss myself in despair, trapped in a classroom where the walls were covered in blood and guts and brains. I wouldn't have had to see my classmates die. We're going to experiment on you, Ghetto. You're going to be a human puppet, Ghetto. We're going to enter you, and then we'll control you, Ghetto. Please,
Don't worry, the pain will end soon, Ghetto. Ah!
The green frog leapt towards my mouth. A huge wet lump forced its way down my windpipe and inside of me. Ugh. I should have chewed off my own tongue and died that way with a frog in my throat. But it was too late for regrets now. All right, well, now that we've had that bizarre, that's like something out of a cheesy horror movie. Wrongsiders these days preferred big budget action movies. Something like this would never sell to them. I erased the stupid simulation from my mind. Okay, so that was a very wild hallucination to have about a bunch of stuffed frogs, but that's okay. Especially considering the fact that it's all because of that strap that we figured out who was killing all of our classmates. So, yeah, joke's on you, frog. I'm just gonna eat you. Frog legs are good, so. Da, 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 da. Gotta get in the obligatory fan service before Nono dies. Oh shit, they're gonna ask me to put things places, aren't they? I forget every single time. I've had both. Frog legs are. I didn't think that they were that. So I should like point out I am part French as well. So like I grew up part time in Paris as a kid, and like frog legs, like you can kind of think of like a chicken wing, just a lot more delicate, I think. An escargot doesn't. I don't personally think it has a lot of taste, but most people will like drown it in butter and garlic. And considering the fact that I'm not a butter fan, which I know gets a lot of people, they do not understand it. Yeah, it's just not my thing. I do actually like frog legs. Um, Everything is so expensive in Epcot. And it's probably not like the best place to have it either. Like, if you overcook escargot, it gets really chewy and kind of gross. So, and just knowing, like, I assume it was for like the festival booths. And those, like, knowing that they don't necessarily cook all of that stuff to order because you just couldn't. Yeah. But yeah, everything is so expensive in Epcot. I think I paid like 11 bucks for taiyaki once and then went, I am never doing that again. That was stupid. Um, Alright, let's see. Is this the one that I want? Alright, yes it is. My room is the same as always. There was no sign of anyone approaching it. I listened carefully to see if I could hear anything outside. I think this is the one where we hallucinate that Hinai is coming to kill us. Nothing. Come on, you're worrying too much. Huh? Huh? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The doorknob spun on its own. The door opened. I couldn't believe it. I'd forgotten to lock the door. Someone was here. Who? Was it Sedika? Or again? Or someone who had something to do with what happened yesterday? Was it okay for me to just stand here? Who's there? A small shadow slipped through the gap in the open door and came inside. Who is this girl? Our eyes met, and then I realized that I should have looked away.
Yeah.
Who are you? Her eyes were blank and out of focus. It was like she was looking at me, but she wasn't. Her skin was so pale she looked sick. She was mumbling something. She had something behind her back. It was a knife over 20 centimeters long. Shit! 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 She was insane! And then I remembered. I remembered who she was. She was the girl at the crime scene. What was she doing here?
The witnesses have to die.
Huh?
Have to die.
What?
Die!
She left on me without warning. Ugh. I felt a terrible pain in my solar plexus. I looked down and saw that the knife was embedded deep within my chest. She giggled as she pulled the knife out. Ugh.
Die!
And again. And again. The knife went in. How could somebody die like this? It was insane, I thought. That's stupid. Yeah. It's been ages since we saw Hinae. So, because she didn't really show up in the last route. Which is sad because I really liked her and Hana's friendship. Da 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 da. Think about when, we didn't know that Serika was behind a bunch of murders that were happening and all of that. We were young and innocent. And Serika didn't make me want to cry. Yeah, they were supposed to be besties, but we did steal Kazuki from Hinae, which is, it's so sad. Because quite honestly, Hinae probably could have helped us in that last route. Alright, not this one. Okay, and now I'm going to get quizzed on things that I am not paying attention to. Okay, this one. This one. This one. That one. At some point, I'm going to have these memorized, and I just don't at the moment. This one. That one. And that one. We need a route that just doesn't have Takudo in it, quite honestly, and the girls can just be besties. Because then Serika doesn't have to be doing her shit and all that. Okay, so we've done a positive delusion here, but we're going to do the negative. Yeah. What was she doing here?
Takara? What brings you three here? Oh, no.
The woman, no, the girl, stared at us suspiciously. And then, for the first time, she realized that I couldn't take my eyes off of her.
Huh? What's wrong with you people?
Oh, the words wouldn't come out. What do I say? Why was she here? Why was she acting so normal? Without warning, the girl started to laugh.
I finally found you. I found you.
Everyone froze. Even Kurisu seemed uncertain of what to do as she stared at the girl. The girl jammed her hand inside her pocket, and she took out a butterfly knife. She pointed the blade right at me. Wow, we really thought Hinaya was a killer at the beginning.
Takaru Miyashiro, it's time for you to die.
Huh? Was she really a murderer then? I tried to run. I tried to turn around and run right out of the room, but unfortunately, Ito was in my way. I ran straight into him and fell backwards to the ground. Crap! Alarm bells were going off in my head. Run, 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 run! Get off the ground and run!
Gotcha.
Huh? I felt something cold up against my neck.
Bye-bye.
Then came the pain. I felt strangely detached and indifferent as I watched the blood spurt out of my own neck. Even though I knew it was just something I had imagined, it still gave me goosebumps. Something like that could really happen right now. I just wanted somebody, anybody, to give me an explanation. There we go. This is the divergence point in the timeline. Okay, go through this one. Looks like our next one is in chapter 4, so we're gonna get quizzed, but literally though, like, we seem to think that Hinaya was going to kill us for ages. Only to find out, like, Hinaya is not a murderer whatsoever, so. Hi, Uki. Okay, do not make me watch that again. I hate that stupid thing. Alright, Nikishi sticker. Sumo sticker. Da 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 da. All these awful sumo stickers. That make us sick. Alright, gotta keep just going through this. Look at all these happy times. Okay, so that footage. Long shot was there. Da 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 da. This does take forever to get to the new routes. Okay. We've only got one more negative, and then we get one positive, but wonder who else we're gonna see kill us. Because that seems to be what all these negatives are. It's not the, like, mild embarrassment. It is the, we gonna die. Which means, I wonder if that is setting the tone for this route. The irony of it being tiny little Uki's route. I hope we get to see more of her and Yui, though, because they were cute. I just hope we get more Yui. I don't want her to die again. I was so heartbroken when she died. we keep going. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Route focused on the child is either the softest or the absolute bleakest. Absolutely no in between. Yeah, that sounds about right, unfortunately. She's also got 4 different bad ends, another sky end, which I don't know if that's a bad end or not, and then her true end. So we've got a lot of them to go through. There's apparently a lot of places where we may be able to die. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that the murders are definitely leading us up to meeting this route. Here we are in the hospital. About to see Uki again so that she can steal our phone. I think this is when she steals our phone. Or more, she doesn't steal our phone, but... Love you, Uki. You didn't deserve the demonization we gave you for ages, because we didn't know anything about you. No one getting stabbed. Nono just did not have a very good time, which I'm very interested, because the next route that we have to do is hers. And she's got the final route. And we have a lot that we... Like, she was in a lot of the main route, but also there's still a lot that we don't know about her, so... I want to know why she's worried about us hating her. Yeah, Nono is literally just not having a good time. She came here to have a good time and just suffered through all of it. Okay, chapter 3. Don't have to do anything this chapter. So I'm very interested. She's only got one ending, which is interesting. Apparently her bad ending was cut from the game, so she just has one true ending. Guess it's to make up for Uki having like 5, so... Literally, I'm here to pamper my brother, and instead, I'm getting stabbed. Literally, because doesn't she get stabbed when she's trying to take down the video camera that we put up illegally? Like, it's not even her fault, man. Nono deserved better. Lots of talking, lots of characters talking. The fact that I read through all of this before It's a lot. Feels like a lot. Ghetto Froggy. What I'm not looking forward to is having to do all the positive delusions with Nono, because I remember some of the positive ones we did with her getting weird. Like, we got very far into sister complex there for a bit. Sedika doing some fun phone shit. Time to see a murder. He did not have a good time in any of this either. Okay, chapter 4. We're finally in the right chapter to need to do something again. Sedika's only murdered off like half the people at this point. Walk away, you bitch. Da-da-da-da. Okay. I believe it's the had special powers one. There we go. Look, let me just say, have yourself a friend like Sedika, because she went through all of this trouble for just so that we could feel like a hero. All right, I silently looked up at the building. We're at Elba Dorm. The lights were on in the room at the end of the living room on the third floor, which meant she was awake. I'd known she would be, but still, I couldn't help but sigh. That was the end of my last hope. After Sedika had answered the phone, she'd handed it to me without saying a word. Just like I'd expected, her voice was calm. Both me, Sedika, and Ito knew from experience that meant she was angry. She'd told me to come home immediately in a flat, emotionless voice. I couldn't even make any excuses. I'd been hoping she'd be asleep when I got back, but now I realized that there was never any chance of that. No, I didn't know for certain that she wanted to talk about what happened today. It might be about something else. All right, let's see what our negative delusion has in store for us. Yeah, there we go. Friends help you move. Real friends help you move the bodies. Best friends give you bodies to try to solve their murders. Maybe Kurisu was feeling worried too. I was already a witness to one death, and now today I'd seen another. If they were all part of the same series of murders, then the killer hadn't been caught yet. So maybe I was in a pretty dangerous position. I was trying to find the killer, just like the police. It was possible that I'd gotten in too deep and now the killer would come after me. And wait a minute. Kurisu was the vice president of the newspaper club and my sister, so maybe she was in danger too. It wasn't that long ago at all that she'd been stabbed. They'd arrested the guy who had attacked her, but I'd heard that he was practically insane. What if the real killer had sent him to stab Kurisu? What if the person who found my phone saw Kurisu's photos and phone number and now was after her? That's overthinking things. Not in a negative delusion. I tried to tell myself that as I went inside the house. But when I knocked on Kurisu's door, there was no answer. I thought she might be asleep and tried to open the door, but it was locked from the inside. I'd seen the lights on from outside, so maybe she was sleeping with them on? I didn't see Dad, Yui, or Yuto anywhere. The house was always so lively, but now it seemed eerily quiet. Why wasn't there anyone here? Where had they gone? Did they go to get food and leave Kurisu here? But I looked at the time, and normally this would have been when Dad was closing up the hospital. The front door, that is, the door to the clinic itself, was still unlocked. All the lights were still on. There's no way, right? I suddenly had a horrible thought, and I started thinking of even worse things. I decided to try calling Kurisu's cell phone from the line in the house. I heard the sound of a ringtone. It was coming from Kurisu's room. She was asleep after all. Why would she call me here and then go to sleep? What the heck was she thinking? Hey, Kurisu, wake up. Open the door. Kurisu, wake up. Come on. That was strange. I was pounding on the door and there was no response from inside. I had a bad premonition. There was no way. It wasn't possible, right? I tried to tell myself that everything was fine, but it wasn't working. I decided to kick down her door. I ran inside the room and gasped at what I saw. The whole room was covered in red, 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 red. The walls, the bed, the carpet, the desk, the stuffed animals. The room was covered in bright red blood everywhere you looked. The smell of blood was strong enough that I almost threw up, and I couldn't bring myself to take another step. Whose blood was this? There was no sign of Kurisu in the room. She was gone. Not only were Dad, Yui, and Yuto missing, but so was Kurisu. She'd disappeared, leaving behind all this blood. Leaving behind her smartphone. She disappeared without a trace. The door was locked from the inside. Even the windows were locked. The words missing persons case flashed through my mind, but I knew it was much worse than that. I fell to my knees and clasped my head in my hands. I knew that Dad, Yui, Yuto, and Kurisu too were never coming back. Alright, well that was nice and cheery. That was just a daydream, but I couldn't say for sure that it wouldn't happen. The position I was in was just that dangerous. There we go. The crime scene was on fire, structurally unsound. It was coming down anyways, right? Right? Okay, and our final one to get onto this route is in 5-1. Okay. Because we're about to meet Uki. After we get abused by Mio for a bit. And, you know, Ito takes a nap with a corpse. I still think that might have been a friendship ender for me. I like to think I'm fairly loyal, but again, I just don't know that I could survive the whole being shoved in a small space with a corpse. I guess Ito does get us back by murdering our little sister, so. He just did not have a good time this time, honestly. Yeah. Where the hell did all this blood on the walls come from? My period? Look, it feels like it. Time to have some sumo sticker hallucinations. Yeah, that's true. None of them are having. I mean, Siddika might be having a good time. So, but I think she might be the only one. And honestly, I don't know that she's actually having a good time either. So, yeah, that's true. Siddika does have the froggy strap to tide her over. Gotta get in our child kidnapping. Okay, we're finally going to get a positive delusion. I looked over and saw something strange in the corner of the room. Oh, I think this is the Mio cosplayer one. The best way to describe it would be to call it a sword. But I wasn't sure if most people who saw it would think that. Its design was complicated and frankly unrealistic. For some reason, looking at it made me feel uneasy. It made me feel really bad, actually. What was that? If someone told me it was for cosplay, I'd probably believe them. If nothing else, it didn't match the image I had of the person in front of me. Not the Kei I knew from Shibuya News, or the Kunosato who had been swearing at me the whole night. Did she maybe have a third identity? Maybe she was a famous cosplayer. Or maybe she was a toy artisan who made life-sized weapons. Maybe she was an otaku who collected swords like this. Either way, it felt like a bad idea to mention it. Best to just ignore it. Best to pretend I never saw it. Miyashiro. Huh? Are you interested in that sword? Huh? Kunosato brought it up, and I was trying my hardest to ignore it. No, not really. I tried my best to laugh and avoid looking at it. Kunosato must have sensed what I was doing because she dropped the subject. Instead, so you are the true augur after all, she whispered. What was going on? Why had she brought us here? The windows started to rattle. It must have been the wind. The only thing I could see outside the window were the streetlights shining in the darkness. For some reason, I felt very anxious. And then it came without warning. There was a huge crash as the window shattered. A black ball landed in the center of the room. Huh? What's going on? I found you. Mio Kurosato. It was a tiny girl with glasses. I knew her face. She was the girl we'd seen at AH Tokyo General Hospital. She followed me?
Now that I've found you, all of you must die. I will execution you all. You too, Miyashiro.
Uh-huh. For some reason, I didn't sound very worried. I was having trouble keeping up with this situation. You know, this situation that we created, too.
Taku.
Sidika was clinging to me, a little afraid. It was rare to see her look like that way. Normally, she was optimistic and easygoing. As the man here, I needed to protect her. No, I don't think she actually needs your protection, man, but,
I am the Windmaster. People call me Weasel Scythe.
Weasel Scythe. That translated to whirlwind. I saw that her nails were shining emerald green. Did she paint them with luminescent paint? I didn't expect a seventh Praga here. But don't you know that this place is a Cielo Paraiso? If you use your power here...
I don't care. I have only one order, to stop anyone from interfering with the plan.
I won't let you. Kunosato reached for her blade, but before she could...
Manifest, my wind!
A burst of wind blew through the room. The wind shone emerald green.
Slice her apart!
No! The emerald wind surrounded Kunosato's body. Her clothes were torn apart. Of course they were. Ah! Not just her clothes. Her beautiful skin and long black hair were ripped apart by invisible blades. Red blood flew through the air.
What's going on? What's happening?
Kunosato fell to the ground, covered in blood. Her hand had just managed to grab the blade, but she couldn't fight like that. Kunosato was going to die. But all I could do was stand there and watch. If I interfered, I would meet the same fate. I would be exectioned.
The augurs of the organizers have fallen in power, it seems. Mio Kunosato, did you really think the likes of you could stop me?
Kunosato gritted her teeth and staggered to her feet, using the sword as a support. That's crazy. You can't do anything like that. She'll just kill you.
Miyashiro.
Huh? With the last of her strength, Kunosato offered me her sword.
Take the sword. I was never able to master it, but perhaps you can. No, I know you can. You can draw out its true power. The holy Edo Blade Gladiolus was created for you, the Chaos Child.
For me? My name was the Chaos Child. Kunosato pushed it in my hands, her arm strong, but not strong enough that she was forcing me to take it.
Takure Miyashiro, fight!
Fight? Me?
Fight! Or everyone dies.
And then Kunosato collapsed into my arms. I grabbed her, and suddenly my hands were slick with red blood. She'd always been so intimidating that I thought she was much taller than me, but her body was so frail and so light. She was just a girl, too. But she'd fought so hard until she ended up like this. I had to do it. I didn't know what was going on, but if I didn't stop her, not only Kunosato's life or my life, but Serika and Ito's lives would be in danger as well. I would have to protect everyone. I set Kunosato on the ground and motioned to Serika and Ito to step back. I gripped the sword I'd been given tightly. Then I turned to face the girl in the glasses, Weasel Scythe.
Are you finished, Chaos Child?
I glared at her silently.
If you've taken up that blade, then by my name, Weasel Scythe, I will show you no mercy. I will execution you before you can undergo your true awakening.
I didn't know what to expect, but if I didn't fight, I would die. I had to fight. I steeled myself and took a step towards Weasel Scythe. Ah! Huh? Exactly. Never forget about Weasel Scythe. Exactly. Like, Mio just gives us the Keyblade. It's fine. And with that, in theory, the end of this, we will be on Uki's route. In a while. Because it starts in chapter 8. I think everyone else's has started in 6, so it's a little weird, but... Alright, chapter 6, Their Resistance, 1. And we're just not going to do anything this time. Poor Uki wants to go home. It's so weird, like, how scared we were of Uki, to be completely honest. But then again, you know, like we did just demonize some of these characters, like Arimura getting to be a murderer, Uki being a murderer. Like we immediately just jumped on the suspicion train for like all these people and never suspected the person it was actually, you know, who was actually doing all the murders. Mostly because we underestimated Setika's intelligence for how long, which was stupid of us, but of course we were scared. We thought she had our phone. Uh, Look, you never think that your password might not be strong enough until someone else possibly has the device that they can log into it from. We were afraid she could find all of our phone porn. It's fine. All of these lovely sumo stickers. Yeah, because this is where all of the routes have started. It's against her, but apparently this is just going to run like normal, I would guess. Which I only kind of remember how it went like normal. Other than we survived. Figured out how to use our D-sword. There is so much fast forwarding. So how was everyone's weekend? uh, Anyone played anything good? All right, on to chapter 7. Still not gonna do anything this chapter, but oh shit, I have to actually answer questions. Um, okay, chapter 7. Okay, so the first victim in the Don't Look at Me case was famous for being able to predict the future, leaky noise, put music in a trance. Otani. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Don't Look at Me. Got famous. She became a popular vocalist. Guess I could have figured that one out without needing to look those up. Nice. Okay, she was pyrokinetic. You know, Chain of Memories is just not one of my favorites. Every time I start playing through it and then I just stop because I get bored halfway through. It's a really interesting story, I just don't like the gameplay. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 in between like work stuff, and I'm mildly obsessed. I've hit the point of like hyperfixation. which is always super great to do when you're in the middle of like trying to do a bunch of work. Um, but that's okay. It's been a bit since I've had my last hyperfixation, so it is kind of like a refreshing feeling. Family dinner. Yeah, it's not that like the gameplay I think is that hard. It's more that I just get really bored with it. Like I don't think it ends up being that interesting because I don't like the whole like mechanic of having to arrange your decks and stuff like that. I just think it's uninteresting. Um I'm sure like to some people I'm sure that they absolutely love it. It's just not my thing. I'm far more of the active time battle or, like full turn based. Just gonna hear that ghetto froggy strap for the next ages. Yeah, like I've finished Chain of Memories, and I think it is like an interesting game. You just have to get through what I think is a slog of gameplay. Um, I remember it also not being super fun to stream just like, because of how they have things set up. Um, it just gets like a little bit boring, especially when like your first card is all the way at the very, 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 very back, and so you just got to watch me fight through a bunch of rooms before anything happened in a world. Um, I did actually enjoy the Riku route though, and I kind of wish that they would just that you could immediately go on it, rather than having to beat the Sora route first. All right, Chapter 8, Betrayal. We gotta be getting close. Yeah, it's most likely that, like, I do probably enjoy it more because Riku's decks are pre-built and you don't have to arrange them. I also think that the boss battles are better in Riku's route. And that might be because the decks are pre-built, so, like, you have to work with what you've got, um, rather than doing it, so. Okay, woman who attacked us. She was a pyrokinetic. It was a different power than... I didn't get to see what that prompt was, so give me a second. I have to see what the actual answer is. Let's see. Nono said she didn't believe Senni was the killer. What Animura said was a lie. was that she saw Sen and Minami-sama die in the earthquake. She tried to attack Yui. Yui, I love you. I miss you. That would be a really good challenge, yeah, to not start using dark mode until the final. That's Exion fight, if I remember correctly. I remember being really irritated over some of the boss fights, but once I actually finished them, like I felt so triumphant over them, that I was just like riding that high. Um, okay, this rat has to start soon. Please. Oh, this is where it's gonna start? What the fuck? No, Yui! Okay, so I guess we're not getting any more cute Yui Uki moments. That's why I didn't notice the tiny girl behind me standing there and shaking. If I had, I might have been able to stop her. But. Huh? The tiny little girl tried to run between me and Ito, splashing blood everywhere as she ran through the puddles on the ground. She was holding a sword that was far too big for her. The girl, Uki Yamazoe, tried to use the D-sword to slice Ito in half. No, Yamazoe! I didn't know whether she'd lost control of herself after seeing Yui, or if she was trying to protect me. But I still believed in my best friend. Ito wouldn't betray me. He wouldn't do this. This had to be some kind of mistake. So... Yeah, peace was absolutely never an option. Something with a metallic taste rose up in my throat, which was still burning from the stomach acid when I'd thrown up a moment ago. The metallic taste filled my mouth, and when I tried to spit it out, I sprayed a shower of red vomit everywhere. Ugh. Ah, no, no, no! Are we gonna be dead for this route? Like, what the hell? I thought I could hear Yamazoe screaming, but her voice seemed far away, as if my ears were plugged up. It was like it was echoing from another dimension. And then I realized that I was lying face down in a pool of my own blood. Huh? When did I fall over? Oh shit, okay, we are going to save here because this is... We're gonna get the first bad end. Okay, so... First bad end. Very short ending when getting to the other... Okay, so we're gonna do a negative here. Man, it hurts. There's so much blood in my mouth, I can't breathe. I tried to get up and breathe, but my body wasn't moving. Please, Yamazoi, help me get up. I can't breathe.
Don't die! Miyashiro! Miyashiro!
You just have to help me get up. Then I can breathe. Yeah, like we're just gonna like run straight into them apparently. Die. You're gonna die too. Die. 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 Ito. Stop it. I tried to scream, but my mouth was no longer capable of forming words. The only sound I made was the sound of blood gurgling out of my mouth. Soon, Yamazoi's screams stopped, and I felt something land on top of my body. All right, there's bad end one. All right, bad end two. Okay, so it doesn't matter what we actually choose for this trigger. I tried to get up and breathe, but my body wasn't moving. Please, Yamazoi, help me get up. I can't breathe.
Don't die! Miyashiro! Miyashiro!
You just have to help me get up. Then I can breathe. Okay. My vision began to quickly turn black. I could feel my heart pounding fast, but my lungs must not have been working anymore because it was no longer getting any fresh oxygen. I don't know if Setika's actually controlling Ito, because like we never confirmed whether she has multiple powers or whether it's the doctor who is using the machine that can emulate it. In which, if we flirt with our dad, I don't think that's going to get us anywhere. And then I saw nothing at all. And the moment I crossed the boundary into death was upon me. All right, we are on the butterfly route.
Hey, Taku, you there? If you fall asleep here, you'll catch cold. Brother Takaru, wake up!
Huh? The first things I saw when I opened my eyes were the grain of the wood table and my drool spilling all over it. That's true. I mean, our sister does flirt with us all the time. And technically, our self flirts with us all the time with Serika, so, you know. Takaru, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? I raised my head and looked around. Everyone was looking at me as I sat spaced out in a chair on the dining room table. Wait, Yui?
Huh?
I leaped up, grabbed Yui by her tiny little shoulders, and shook her. Of course, I could touch her body, and it was warm. She wasn't a ghost. Yui, how are you alive?
Stop it, Brother Takaru! Hey, Taku. Stop it! What's gotten into you?
What? Yui was killed. Huh?
I'm alive! Look!
But Ito killed you with a knife.
Huh? I'm the killer?
Ito glared at me, clearly annoyed.
Give me a break. Even if you were half asleep, that's not funny.
Asleep? I let go of Yui's shoulders and took another look at my little sister. There were no cuts on her pure white skin, and there was no blood on her clothes. Was it a dream?
Of course. Why would someone kill me?
It was so real, though. I could even smell the blood and guts. Yeah, Takaru, you just got pranked. I could still remember the pain of being cut by the D sword. I closed my eyes tight and ran my fingers along my temples. And then I opened my eyes again, slowly. Everything was fine. That nightmare was nowhere to be seen. I leaned back into the chair. That's right. There's no way Ito would kill Yui. For a moment, the name Senni Minamisawa flashed through my mind, but I quickly shook my head to drive it away. The idea that Ito knew Senri and was after revenge was just a delusion. There was no reason to think it was real.
Geez, you scared me. Everyone else has been so tense, but you fell asleep. You were napping when everyone else was awake.
Was I? Sorry.
You're tired after everything that's happened. That's probably why you had that weird dream. Want Dad to take a look at you?
No, I'm fine. I'm okay now. I realized that there was a thick sheen of sweat on my forehead and wiped it away with my sleeve. Anyway, what time is it? The murderer... Ito shrugged and shook his head. It's way past midnight. Nothing happened. Nothing? I looked at the clock and saw that it was a new day. Yeah, this proves it. The case is over.
Takara?
But on the phone, Shinjo said... That's right, there'd been a murder on the 23rd, too. Which meant that the return of the new generation madness was still continuing.
Shinjo called?
What? What are you talking about? Huh? Everyone seemed surprised. I took the smartphone out of my pocket, and I checked the call history. It was gone. Shinjo had never called. That phone call was a dream, too? I sighed again and sat back in the chair. All the strength had drained from my body. I see. So the return of the new generation madness really was over.
Hey, Taku, you really doing okay? Maybe you really should have your dad take a look at you.
I'm fine. Chris is right. I'm just tired. Wait, your face is way too close to mine. I could tell she was worried, but Sedika's face was just too close to me. I pushed it away. And then I realized, where's Yamazoe? I couldn't see her anywhere. I remembered how her face had been twisted with despair when she'd attacked Ito in my dream. Even if I knew it wasn't real, I was still worried.
Uki, Dr. Sakuma asked her for her help with something. Miyashiro, do you need something?
Oh. She must have just finished because she peeked through the door at exactly that moment. She was tiny and frail, but a lot more cheerful than she'd been before. There was nothing particularly out of the ordinary about her. I was relieved. Oh, nothing.
I see. Everyone, would you like something to drink? I want some grapefruit juice. I'll take coffee. Orange juice. Miyashiro, would you like your usual? Mountain... What was it? Stop it, everyone. Uki isn't our maid. This household is self-service only. No, it's fine. I want to be helpful.
Yamazoe went around and asked everyone what they wanted, and then went to the kitchen. There was nothing different about her at all. Before long, I could hear the tea kettle bubbling cheerfully in the kitchen. Several days passed. In the end, nothing happened on October 28th. The return of the new generation madness had ended with the death of the woman responsible. She'd realized that she couldn't escape the police and set herself on fire. That's what everyone, from the TV media to the internet, was saying. But is that really true? Something didn't seem right. This is the sort of thing that usually drove the people I despised most on the internet, the wrong-siders who pretended to be right-siders, into an uproar. I didn't mind the ones who made aggregator pages filled with their own personal theories, but some of them would always try to connect everything to the most ridiculous conspiracy theories. And the worst were the ones who would post information about the killer, and not just the killer herself, but her family and relatives too, and say all kinds of terrible, unfounded things about them. But... Exactly. Uki deserves all of the, love and care that we can give her. Let us get her grapefruit juice, or Mountain Dew, or whatever she wants to drink. But this time, that hadn't happened. No information was available at all except for what was in the police announcement. It was as if someone was censoring everything. And not only the students at the school and the people of Shibuya, but even the guys on Ad Channel were already losing interest and starting to talk about other things. Even if there were a lot of things competing for people's attention these days, it's still too fast, isn't it? But everyone was already starting to talk about a new event. The Shibuya Restoration Festival was coming soon. Yeah, I just want apple juice.
Hey, Takara?
Huh? Oh. As I stared at the map, I suddenly heard a bone-chilling voice from behind me. Terrified, I turned around. Kurisu was standing there, eyebrows raised. What are you thinking about? Huh?
Not the case, right? It's over now. I told you that you need to leave it to the professionals.
Well, when it comes to this case, I'm basically a professional myself.
If you really insist on still getting involved, you know what'll happen, right?
Yeah. Her face was as terrifying as any creature from my worst nightmares. Well, I knew why she was so mad. She was really worried about me. And I knew that after what happened to her friend Senni Minamisawa, she was probably crying when she was alone. Still, she could be nicer about it.
If I don't scold you like this, you won't listen, will you?
Huh? How could she tell what I was thinking? Was she a psychic too?
Don't make me repeat myself all the time. I know exactly what you're thinking. I can tell by the look on your face.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, I'm getting rid of that map. It's taking up space.
Kurisu put a hand up to the map on the board to rip it off.
Oh, I'll help you.
Uki had been standing in the corner of the room, staring in wonder at everything she saw. She quickly dashed over to Kurisu. There we go.
I tried the apple juice in Mr. Sakuma's sleep flask, but it tasted bad, so I emptied it and filled it with the real stuff.
He won't be mad about that at all.
Thanks, Uki. Can you get that site for me? Okay.
They ripped down the map I'd spent so many hours on and folded it up neatly. Aww.
What?
No,
If you want to complain, then give me a good reason.
No, it's nothing. Sorry.
You're always so wimpy, Taku. You're lame. A wuss. Really, I'm disappointed. I expected better of you.
Arimura was occupying a corner of the big table as she read a brainless fashion magazine, and Kazuki was at her computer playing SO2 like always. I'm not a wimp, okay? Kurisu is just too strong.
You really like it when I get mad at you, don't you, Takare?
That's not true. I'm sorry. I shrank back and averted my eyes from the Empress. As for why Arimura and Yamazoe were there, they'd both joined the newspaper club as of today. Yamazoe wasn't a student at Hekiho until now, but after the case was solved, she'd been allowed to enroll at the Academy's middle school.
Hey, guys! Huh?
Ito came into the room and walked over to me, eyes shining. He motioned for me to lean in. What is it?
This room is filled with chicks, and you're in the way!
Sorry I'm in the way, man.
The whole room smells so great. It's hard to believe this is the newspaper club.
Apologize to newspaper clubs everywhere. I think I might finally get a girlfriend at this rate. I don't think so, but good try. And I'm sure you're wrong.
What? What are you whispering about?
Sidika put down her magazine and looked at us.
Oh, we were just talking about what our next top article should be for the newspaper club. Nope, Ito's lying. Huh? That's not true, right, Miyashiro?
Ito, you're wasting your time.
You can't lie to Hina, you know? Man, I never learned, do I? You guys are terrible. You were talking about something naughty that has to do with me, right? We were not. You're lying again. You were looking at me and imagining all kinds of things, weren't you?
Arimura covered her chest and thighs with her hands.
Takuru?
Ito? Excuse me? We are not! I quickly ran over to Arimura. Listen, don't say anything that will give her the wrong idea. If Kurusu gets really pissed off, there's no telling what she'll do.
You know I can hear you.
See? Look how she's glaring at me. I scowled at Arimura and she giggled.
You know, I've been thinking for a while that you two are kind of like... What? Like a husband and wife. Huh? What?
Both Kurusu and I turned to her in shock.
Like a loser husband who's always worried that his scary wife is going to be mad at him. Who are you calling a scary wife?
Don't be weird. I agree that she's scary, though. She punched me! She punched me right in the stomach!
Wow, that looked like it hurt.
Kazuki pointed to the screen as I writhed on the ground, holding my stomach. Now what do you want? And then I heard a tiny laugh. Huh? I looked around in surprise. She was laughing. She wasn't very loud, but Uki was laughing happily. Everyone looked at her in surprise.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yamazoe realized that everyone was looking at her, and her face suddenly turned bright red.
Nah, come on, laugh more. Huh? Excuse me? Okay, you should laugh like that more often. It's cute. Huh? Huh?
Maybe she'd never heard that before. She didn't seem to know what to do.
I'll go throw out the garbage.
She grabbed the garbage can, which wasn't particularly full, and ran out into the hallway. Everyone smiled as we watched her go. Oh, absolutely. Like, this is pure gold of them just razzing the guys. I love this.
Man, that's not fair. It's the same way as when a thug does something even a little nice. He looks like a great guy.
Don't let her trick you, Hinaya, what the fuck, man? She's a little kid. No, she's not trying to trick me.
At this rate, my position as idol of the newspaper club is in danger.
I don't think you are, but...
I'm the idol of the newspaper club. I won't let you have my position. All right, let's fight for it, City. Sounds great to me.
Come on, you guys. My head started to hurt. Yamazoe was one thing, but maybe letting Arimura join had been a mistake. With the case finished, the newspaper club was finally about to get back to work again. But at this rate, we wouldn't even be able to get through a planning meeting. We never get any work done. An hour later, it was time to go home, and Wakui, the club advisor, kicked us out. We decided to pick the topic for our next paper at a later meeting, and everyone headed home.
I've told you this already, but I think we should just do a behind-the-scenes report on the Restoration Festival. I think that works. It sounds fun. No complaints here. They've got a beauty contest, supposedly. I'd love to do a behind-the-scenes on that. I knew you were that type, Ito. Never get close to me, okay?
Can't you tell when I'm joking?
I can tell when you're lying. That wasn't a joke, was it?
Ito and Arimura were about to get going again, so I interrupted. Every school in the city is doing a report on the Restoration Festival, right? I think we should do a real analysis on the return of the New Generation Madness case. It's still bothering me. Of course, we won't go into too much detail about sending Minamisawa. I made my suggestion, trying to be as delicate towards Kurusu as possible, but... Come on, man. We're done with that thing. Every site's on the internet's doing that anyway.
I agree. Honestly, I don't really want to remember it.
Even Ito, who was so excited during the case, and Arimura, who was a part of it, were opposed. We'd had this same discussion during our meeting at school and gotten nowhere. What about you, Kazuki? What do you think about my proposal?
Hmm?
Did you say something? She seemed to say. That wasn't gonna work. It was possible she hadn't even heard what we were talking about. What about you then, Yamazoe?
Huh?
I turned around towards Yamazoe, who was all the way in the back. She seemed surprised, as if she hadn't expected anyone to ask her opinion. Her eyes darted from left to right.
I'm fine with whatever everyone else decides.
We can't decide. That's why I'm asking you.
I'm sorry.
She probably thought I was mad at her because she shrank back a little.
Don't be mean to Uki, Taku.
I'm not being mean. She's part of the newspaper club now. If she has an opinion, we should respect that, right? But Yamazoe only shrank back even further and started to mumble.
No, I don't really have an opinion. I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize. I could see the corners of her eyes were getting wet, so I quickly waved my hands in apology. At this rate, it really would feel like I was bullying her. In the end, I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I fell silent.
All right, Taku, non, Uki. See you tomorrow. See you later, everyone. See you. Bye.
Me, Kurisu, and Yamazoe said goodbye to the other four before we headed back to Alba dorm. We watched and waved for a moment as they went, then started to walk once more. No one said anything for a while. The only sound on the quiet residential street was our footsteps.
Hey, Takure,
Hmm? It was Kurisu who broke the silence.
how are you doing? Are you okay?
Huh?
You know, a lot happened, and I was wondering if you were doing better. You're the type who keeps your problems to yourself, after all.
Kurisu glanced at me, then looked away as she spoke. A lot, huh? She probably wasn't just talking about the return of the new generation madness. She was probably talking about everything that had happened to us since the Shibuya earthquake. I thought back to all that had happened. Come to think of it, I'd caused a lot of problems for Kurisu, and a lot of worry, too. You can tell by looking at me, right? I'm just fine. I can probably head back to my RV soon.
What? You're thinking of going back?
She was staring at me in surprise. Evidently, she hadn't expected that. She must have thought I was planning on staying at Alba Dorm forever. I can't stay in freeload forever.
But it's your home, Takure. Of course you can stay.
No, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm going to get spoiled at this rate.
There's nothing wrong with being spoiled.
She seemed a little sad as she spoke. Did you hear that, Yamazoe? You can be my witness. Whenever Kurisu gets mad at me from now on, I can tell her she said it's okay for me to be spoiled.
Oh, yes, I understand. Oh, wait, no, that's got nothing to do with this.
Kurisu turned towards Yamazoe and held up her hand palm outwards in a stop sign.
I understand.
Hey, whose side are you on?
Well, I'm sorry.
Yamazoe seemed genuinely sad. Evidently, jokes weren't something she understood. I scratched at my cheek, unsure of what to say. Kurisu rubbed her cheek with her fingers 2 or 3 times in the exact same way, and then slowed her pace until she was next to Yamazoe.
Hey, Uki?
She forced herself to speak as cheerfully as possible.
Yeah? Want to go shopping this Sunday? Shopping? Your room's pretty much empty, right? And you didn't bring many clothes with you.
Then I remembered. Yamazoe had moved in so quickly that we didn't have a room for her, so we'd cleaned out the storeroom instead. When I'd last looked in there, her room was basically empty. If it was still that way, it must be pretty bare.
But that doesn't really bother me. That's not good enough. If your room is more cheerful, you'll feel better. And since you're a girl, you need to dress up a bit. Don't you think so, Taka?
Huh? Yeah, of course. Dressing nicely is the first step towards a happy, normal life.
See? Takara says he'll come with us. So let's go, okay?
Huh? What did the Empress just say?
There's a lot of stuff we have to buy. 2 girls won't be able to carry it all.
So you want me to hold your bags, basically.
Nope. I'm offering you a chance to go on a date with 2 cute girls.
Like, don't you think it's a little embarrassing to say that about yourself? Or so I thought when.
Well, would you say something? I'm starting to regret saying that.
Kurisu went right up to her ears. Meanwhile, Yamazoi was frantically looking between us as if she wasn't sure what to do.
Anyway, just leave Sunday open, okay? But you don't have to do that for someone like me. Excuse me, Uki? Huh? Don't say someone like me. You're part of the family. Act like it. We're friends. No, we're family now. I told Takare this, but I want you to be spoiled. Family? That's right. We're family, Uki.
Uki didn't seem to know how to respond. It was like she was surprised, hesitant, smiling, and crying all at once. She looked at us, her expression blending all of those emotions.
Oh, and I think it's time for you to stop calling Takare Miyashiro.
Huh?
You too, Takare. The rule in our family is that everyone calls each other by their first name.
Kurisu's voice was cheerful, but I felt an ache in my chest when I heard her, because I hadn't called her by her first name in half a year. Looking back, it was all over something stupid, but for some reason I'd gotten stubborn about it, and now I couldn't go back. Even though I knew how sad she looked sometimes when I called her Kurisu.
Is it okay for me to do something so rude? It's not rude. I told you, you're part of the family. Okay. You too, Takaru. Got it?
Roger, Yamazoe, I mean Uki.
Takaru?
Yamazoe, Uki blushed as she spoke.
Good job, both of you. Okay, Takaru, be ready on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm adopting you. Takaru is now your father. Don't you mean I'm her uncle?
Shut up.
Yeah, roger that too, I get it. There was nothing in life so boring as being forced to go shopping with a girl, but that was part of my male noblesse oblige. You had to enjoy it the best you could. That's not exactly how that works, Takaru, but good fucking try. At least that's what Kenji Minami Kata's column said in Cool Cat Press. Yeah, we've already talked about how Kenji Minami Kata is clearly a virgin.
Alright, it's settled. I can't wait.
Kurisu tapped Uki lightly on the shoulder. Uki still didn't seem to know what to say, but at last she said,
"Thank you."
in a tiny voice. And then,
family.
She whispered the word again. I couldn't tell for sure, but she sounded very happy. Oh. All right. And I think we're gonna end there. So next stream is Tuesday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Let's see, what do we got? Reminders, you can get new COVID tests shipped out from you if you live in the US. And I believe the COVID booster shots are now available. So, do your part in making sure that we don't go into full pandemic mode again or whatever. I think that's all I got. I cannot think of any other announcements. So thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on Tuesday and have a good night. Thanks all. Bye.